All right, so today's goal is to kind of get ready for our big project in Photoshop. And to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to create a mock postcard. So we're going to do a couple things today. We're going to combine text, pictures, and also brushes. Okay? So what I want you to do is go ahead and set up a file, a new blank file, and we're going to call it Postcard. And you're going to use the underscore key and then your initials. So mine would be RJL. Okay? The size of a regular postcard, it will depend on whether you want it an up and down postcard or a side to side. So a portrait style would be the tall postcard, and a landscape style would be the longer postcard. I'm going to go with a portrait style myself. So in that case, I'm going to do a 4-inch by 6-inch. If I wanted the other way, I would just make my width 6 and my height 4. Be sure that you're set to inches. If you are set to pixels, it is going to be a ton smaller, almost microscopic. So please be set to inches. And also check that your resolution is at 300. Yesterday I accidentally forgot and was set at 72 and it caused some issues. Hit OK. Once again, if you have a floating window here, you can just click the maximize button. And here's our postcard. It's ready. So we can do a couple different things to this. You can create your postcard for whatever you want. If you want to be a Happy St. Patrick's Day postcard or a birthday card or a anything, Happy Best Friend's Day postcard, you can make it for whoever and for whatever you would like. Okay? But we do need a few things. Number one is the text tool. All right, so to show the text tool, I'm going to click the T over here. And in order to use it, you're going to drag out a text box. And what you're going to notice immediately happens is over here in the Layers panel, you now have a new layer. Okay? You now have a new layer. And that's important to note because our layers are kind of like separate pieces of paper. All right, so you need to kind of know what you're working with. My text, if I start typing, is super small. So I'm going to make it bigger. So instead of 12 point, maybe up to a 48 point. And Happy St. Patrick's Day. The text went it was too big for the box, so I'm going to have to resize this text box just by grabbing a handle and dragging. And if I want to move it, I need to move kind of to the outside to where I see the little black mouse with the move button. Okay, so Happy St. Patrick's Day is on there. Awesome. Now, what if I all of a sudden want to go back and change this later? Well, you can just simply double-click on the T here, and it will let you edit that text again. So say I want to switch it to be centered, or I want to switch to a new font, something like that, and maybe a new color, make it green for St. Patrick's Day, or we'll make it gray and we'll change the background later. So whatever you want to do, there's tons of options, okay? So we've got this, and for some reason it's not letting me move it. There we go. Okay. You're also going to want to throw a picture on here. Okay, so I'm going to go to Google. Don't have one selected. I'm going to get a clover image. And sure, that one works. Okay. And just like we talked about yesterday, view image, right click, save image as, save it as something you name it, okay? And make sure it's somewhere that you know where it is. And to get that into our file, you're going to go File, Import. File, Place. File, Place. Okay, so we file place. I go to find that picture. And where is it? Clover right there. I hit place. And it's going to show up. Now you can resize it by grabbing these handles. Okay. Now you can flatten it or make it really skinny. If you hold shift, it'll keep its same proportions. Alright, so you make it whatever size you want it, place it wherever you want. It'll look a little bit fuzzy at first, but once you click this check mark, it will clear up. Okay. Alright, so we've got our text on. We've got our text in. We've got our picture in. I would also ask that you play around with the brush a little bit here too. And also, what if I want my background not to be white? Well, I'm going to have to be on the background layer. Okay, so you can see that one's dark over here, so I'm on the background layer. We have this paint can, or this paint bucket tool. And I can just grab a color here, like some sort of a green that kind of looks like it might go well. And I can just click on the background. Okay, so I was on the background layer. Now if I would have been on something else, like the clover layer, whoops, or the text layer, in theory it should not work. It should say this layer must be simplified or something like that. So you need to be clicked on the correct layer. So we want to edit the background, we click on that layer. Okay, so I want you to go out and try this out. You don't have to stop with one. Okay, try making a couple. Make something cool. One of them you are going to have to save to your save files folder, but only one, not all of them. So when you're done, you click Save As. You'll have to hit Continue. It should already be named Postcard_RJ, or your initials. The last thing you're going to want to do is just simply switch the format to a JPEG. We are almost always going to switch to a JPEG or a BMP, but that's just switching it to a smaller file type. Okay, so when you're done with that, you can go ahead and hit Save and go out and try another one if you'd like. Hope that helps. Go ahead and try out some postcards.